Hello everyone. It is I, Lorry, 2 of the Lorry guys, finally back with a new video hosted by me. If you have been wondering why I haven't done a new video since August, it is because I have been waiting for a new stupid movie to come out that looked like shit since the release of the very first trailer, so I can rant on it. And that movie is The Bad Guys. Good God, was this movie not worth the hype? For starters, the characters have such terrible names. They're all just called Mr. Wolf, Mr. Shark, Mr. Piranha, and Ms. Tarantula. Like, come on, how could DreamWorks not come up with more distinctive names than just super generic names like that? It would be just as bad if Shrek was only called Mr. Ogre and Barry from the Bee Movie was just called Mr. Bee. Second, the characters Mr. Piranha and Mr. Shark are able to move and breathe without being underwater, which is very unrealistic. Sure, there are water molecules in the air, but that's still not enough for most marine creatures. Third, the movie stole the design of Pilchard from Bob the Builder for a costume worn by that spider character. Actually, speaking of that spider, she was so cringe and was the absolute worst part of the movie. I hope she gets exterminated by Mr. Bixby. And fourth, which is the part I look down upon the most about the movie in general, is that it is overhyped. All those smackheads on places like Twitter or DeviantArt making so much fan art of its subpar characters way before the source material even came out, let alone all because of just another generic CGI kids movie. Granted, it may not be as overpraised as Into the Spider-Verse or a complete disaster like Space Jam 2, but it's still pretty crappy. Overall, I give The Bad Guys a -58 out of 10, for quite simply being a quite literally bad movie. And by no means in a good way. So please don't waste your time trying to see it in any form. Anyway, thank you for watching this rant. Be sure to check out my other rants. And like what Underground Ernie said, I'm proud to be of service. And like what Mr. Rails said, Mr. Rails never fails. And like what Mr. Bixby said, I got this. And like what Tito Dick said, I am Dick. I am the leader of all these idiots. And like what Ed Grimley said, I'm going completely mental, I must say. And like what Pat and Matt said. And like what Louis Anderson said, let me tell you about my family. And like what Andy Anderson said, for crying out loud. And like what Fergie Fudgehog said, oh fudge. And like what Professor Pester said, I have no regrets. And like what the Burgerman said, Bluey sucks. And like what Blake and Mortimer said, Eleanor wonders why is so goddamn generic. And like what the photographer said, the steam has made my camera wet. And like what Andy Larkin said, I'm a trick playing gangster. And like what the Duck Dynasty guys said, Warner Brothers can go fuck themselves.
Pizzaria Popeye, sei que você vai gostar. Vem com a família e os amigos também, é só a galera provar.
Eu sou maneiro, papai.
Pizzaria Popeye, eu sei que vai gostar.